watch that, do you think maybe Melania is jealous? Maybe that's what this was about? Oh, now you want to hold hands, Donald. You wouldn't rather be holding that orb? I remember when you used to touch me like the orb, Donald. Now, on the next leg of Trump's trip, which took him to the Vatican, Trump's hands really couldn't catch a break, because this time, the First Lady gave him the old down low, too slow. And me and the orb was a one-time thing. The orb means nothing to me, means nothing. I was barely hard.
When you see Donald Trump sitting in front of a portrait of George Washington, you realize how ridiculous this whole thing is. Melania did not take part in the customary First Lady meeting with Dr. Jill Biden today. Apparently, she had crying in the dark scheduled for this morning. And oh, no, she can't come. Please give her my best, okay? Melania's office did release a statement. The statement said, Melania declined the First Lady's invitation to visit, which I'm sure Jill Biden was heartbroken.
Have you seen how things have been getting awkward between the former first couple? You can almost hear Melania's thoughts. Oh, now you want some hand-holding action, Donald? Getting nostalgic after that magical moment with the glowing orb? Remember when you used to look at me the way you looked at that sphere? Speaking of awkward moments, when their Vatican visit rolled around, there was another hand-related incident. This time, the then First Lady pulled what looked like a classic playground move.
The thing that got an enormous amount of media attention had to do with Melania Trump, the First Lady, and some video. Was this an actual slap, or did she just pull her hand away?
Hand away, which probably means she wants a promotion first, right? If you do zoom in on that picture, there is something a little suspicious, and that is that they're holding hands. So on second thought, maybe.
You know, that too slow trick kids do. It's like she was saying, that orb was just a one-time thing, honey. I know it meant something special to you, but let's not kid ourselves. When you catch a glimpse of Donald Trump seated beneath George Washington's portrait, the sheer absurdity of it all really hits home. Oh, and get this. Melania skipped out on the traditional First Lady meetup with Jill Biden. Word is she had a pressing appointment with her dark room and some tissues. Her office put out some fancy statement about declining the invitation.
I said to Melania, what do you think? And she said, you want to do this again? I'm going to get hell when I say this, but her feet are absolutely aching, you know, those heels. And we thought we were leaving, we were going home. She said, darling, I love you so much, but my feet are killing me. I said, honey, let me just see how far it is. I asked the person. Oh, not that long, maybe 400 or 500 yards. That's 5 football fields. I said, can you make it? She said, we're going to make it no matter what. We're going to make it because we have to go. Right? Right? And then we went out to the helicopter, though, just prior to this and said goodbye. And it's a custom, and the wind is blowing like crazy. And with the hat that she's wearing, she almost blew away. We almost lost off her. She was being elevated off the ground. She almost blew away. No, so we all appreciate it because she's been a great First Lady, a beautiful and a great First Lady.
I'm sure Dr. Biden was just devastated by that news. Here's a fun fact. Every time Trump fires off an angry tweet, comedy show ratings shoot through the roof. Hosts like Kimmel and Noah have figured out the secret sauce, turning presidential rants into comedy gold. But it makes you wonder, when politics gets this wild, is laughter really the best way to cope with all the chaos? The media couldn't get enough of that clip with Melania. You know the one. Was it an actual slap or just a subtle hand retreat? Maybe she's angling for a better contract. The really suspicious part, if you look closely at that photo, they're actually holding hands.
Here is the president-elect arriving in D.C.
Have a meeting today, though. She reached out to Melania Trump for the invite. Incoming First Lady Melania Trump will not be attending today's meeting at the White House. Her husband's return to the Oval Office to commence the transition process is encouraging, and she wishes.
This morning, multiple sources tell CNN that Melania Trump is unlikely to move back into the White House full-time in January.
This world today, and I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth. It'll be as smooth as it.
Plot twist. The social media saga continues as Trump's Twitter activity reaches new heights. He's particularly ruffled about how Trevor Noah and Jimmy Kimmel have been poking fun at his marital dynamics. These late-night hosts have struck comedy gold with his tweets, and the more he posts, the more material they get to work with.
Hello, Madison Square Garden, our hometown, where architectural symbols of strength, courage, and unity create a canvas for the world's undisputed capital of industry. Let us charge together with a shared vision that builds on American greatness. Let's seize this moment and create a country for tomorrow, the future that we deserve. Please welcome our next Commander-in-Chief, my husband, President Donald J. Trump.
Kimmel kicked things off by highlighting Melania's impressive hand evasion techniques, suggesting she might have a future Olympic career in the 100-meter Trump dodge. Not to be outdone, Noah took a jab at Trump's reading habits, quipping that he hadn't gotten around to Melania's book since his golf schedule keeps him too busy.
Roses are red, love is a mystery. I had a historic electoral college victory. Why did Trump say he called into Fox and Friends? I think he's not a very good husband. Also, I would pay anything to know what he wrote inside that card that he definitely didn't actually get. We're like, because it was Melania's birthday. Like, what does that mean? He's like, honey, I've got a great celebration planned for us today. I'm gonna talk to some TV people while sitting on the toilet.
Now, here's where things get spicy. Trump, being Trump, couldn't let these jokes slide. He launched into a Twitter tirade, claiming Kimmel and Noah were pushing fake news. Meanwhile, some interesting developments were unfolding in D.C. Despite Dr. Biden extending an invitation for the traditional White House meeting, Team Melania announced she wouldn't be attending. According to CNN insiders, there's speculation that Melania might not be planning a full-time return to the White House in January. Despite claims about ensuring a smooth transition, the situation only provided more comedic fodder. Trump's approach to handling the mockery was like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Kimmel cleverly pointed out how it had turned into a snowballing effect. Each tweet spawned more jokes, which prompted more tweets, and so on.
I was heartened to learn that Senator Cruz and Senator Klobuchar united to prioritize this fundamental matter. I must admit, however, I expected to see more Democrats, leaders with us here today, to address this serious issue. Surely, as adults, we can prioritize Americans' children ahead of partisan politics.
He compared it to watching an orange cat with tiny hands chasing its tail. Kimmel even mused that Trump might not fully grasp what fake news actually means. Shocking, right? As Trump grew increasingly agitated, the situation took on an almost poetic quality. Something about roses being red, love being mysterious, and claims of a historic electoral college victory. And let's not forget that peculiar Fox and Friends call-in. Perhaps not the actions of someone winning Husband of the Year. Throughout all this, there's an underlying commentary about leadership, relationships, and how comedy becomes a lens through which we process political theater. The interplay between presidential tweets and late-night comedy has created a fascinating feedback loop of political entertainment. You've got to wonder what he scribbled in that birthday card. You know, the one he clearly scrambled to get at the last minute. What kind of romantic message does one write between bathroom tweets and TV interviews? Darling, I've planned something special. Watch me call into my favorite shows while perched on the porcelain throne.
The attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy. I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech? There is definitely more to this story, and we need to uncover the truth.
In an interesting twist, while this comedy battle was unfolding, something unexpected happened. The segments roasting Trump became absolute viral sensations. Viewers couldn't share Kimmel and Noah's zingers fast enough on social media. It turns out laughter really is contagious, especially when it involves a certain grumpy commander-in-chief. What's next in this epic battle of wits? Will Trump finally develop a sense of humor about himself? Is Melania destined to become a professional hand-dodge champion? And seriously, what are the chances we'll run out of orange-tinted material for Kimmel and Noah to work with? Spoiler alert, slim to none. As long as Trump keeps tweeting, these comedians will keep the jokes coming, and we'll be right here.
Do you feel like you're in a different space now than you were 8 years ago?
I feel I was always me the first time as well. I just feel that people didn't accept me, maybe. They didn't understand me the way maybe they do now.
She has been stepping out a little bit more publicly in recent months after really being a non-presence during the campaign. She released that memoir, there's that documentary forthcoming, and this morning talking a little bit more on Fox about how she views the role as First Lady. She also talked about how she sometimes might disagree with Donald Trump.
Maybe some people, they see me as just a wife of the president, but I'm standing on my own 2 feet, independent. I have my own thoughts. I have my own yes and no. I don't always agree what my husband is saying or doing, and that's okay.
Are you able to tell him when you disagree?
I gave him my advice, and sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, and that's okay.
Popcorn in hand, enjoying every moment. Remember when everyone was obsessing over Melania's Christmas decorations? Well, move over holiday drama. Who would have thought avoiding her husband's hand-holding attempts would become America's new favorite spectator sport? The transformation of these awkward moments into late-night comedy gold is truly something to behold. It all started with a few cringe-worthy moments caught on camera. There was the Vatican incident, where Melania swatted away Trump's hand like she was shooing away a persistent fly. Then came the legendary Israeli tarmac moment, where she executed an escape maneuver that would make a bath-avoiding cat jealous. Once these clips hit the internet, there was no turning back. Melania's hand-dodging skills became comedy legend. The late-night host had a field day. Trevor Noah suggested Melania's evasive maneuvers might be her subtle form of protest against Trump's controversial statements. It's like she's saying, nope, not touching that one. Other comedians started comparing her moves to Olympic-level gymnastics, and honestly, they weren't entirely wrong.
What is it like when you're moving back in the White House? What's different this time?
The difference is I know where I will be going. I know the rooms where we will be living. I know the process. The first time was challenging. We didn't have much of the information. The information was upheld for us from previous administration. But this time I have everything. I have the plans. I could move in. I already packed. I already selected the furniture that needs to go in. So it's very different transition this time, second time around.
Will you decorate it exactly like it was before, or are you making changes?
A little bit of changes, not much.
How have the Bidens been? Have they been accommodating, and are they still living there?
They're still living there, and they will be out on January 20. So what happened is on January 20, the transition team has only 5 hours to move Biden's out and to move us in. So everything needs to be planned to the minute. I will be in the White House, and when I need to be in New York, I will be in New York. When I need to be in Palm Beach, I will be in Palm Beach. But my first priority is, to be a mom, to be a first lady, to be a wife. And once we are in on January 20, it's you serve the country.
The fascinating part is how this seemingly minor gesture snowballed into one of late-night television's most reliable sources of entertainment. Who knew avoiding hand-holding could generate so much comedic material? It's become such a phenomenon that it's practically overshadowed all other White House drama. And that's saying something. Kimmel delighted his audience by announcing what might be the next great sporting event, the 100-meter Trump Dash. But the comedians weren't the only ones having a field day with this. Social media exploded with creative creative content about Melania's impressive evasion skills. People started editing clips of her best dodge moments set to action movie soundtracks, while others crafted mock Olympic scorecards to rate her performance. The internet essentially transformed into one giant comedy club. The situation drew attention from body language experts, who meticulously analyzed every movement. Their professional assessment suggested that Melania's hand dodging might indicate underlying discomfort or a desire to maintain distance from Trump. This analysis only fueled more speculation about their relationship. People started wondering, was the atmosphere in the White House really that tense? Were Melania's gestures sending subtle messages? What began as a humorous observation evolved into something more symbolic. Each avoided handhold became interpreted as a reflection of their marriage dynamics. Social media buzzed with comments like, "Looks like someone's had enough of the Donald," as the entire nation seemingly appointed themselves marriage therapists. Where does this comedic saga go from here? Will we see Melania's hand-dodging techniques recognized as an official Olympic discipline? Maybe Trump will start taking evasive maneuver classes. One thing's certain, comedians will be watching their every hand movement as long as cameras are rolling, and we'll be here enjoying every moment of it. This comedy showdown has taught us something interesting. Laughter might be the most effective medicine for political frustration. As Kimmel and Noah have shown, a well-crafted joke often carries more weight than a barrage of angry tweets. Trump has unwittingly become a comedy content generator. Every rage-filled tweet arrives like a gift-wrapped present for these comedians. It's almost too easy, but this laughter serves a deeper purpose. It's actually getting people more engaged with political events, which raises an intriguing question. Is comedy becoming our new form of democratic oversight? Are we witnessing an era where the court jester wields more influence than the king? Whatever happens, we can count on comedians to keep poking fun at politicians who act foolishly. And honestly, we wouldn't want it any other way. The fascinating part is how this seemingly trivial gesture has sparked such widespread commentary and analysis. It's become a lens through which people examine power dynamics, relationships, and political theater in modern America. The combination of social media, late-night comedy, and political drama has created a perfect storm of entertainment and social commentary.